Good morning, it's 7 o'clock on Tuesday the 23rd of July. The headlines this morning: the American Vice President Kamala Harris says she now has enough support in the Democratic Party to become its presidential nominee. Duke Fakir, the last original member of the Motown group The Four Tops, has died. The BBC News is read this morning by Jane Steele.
Meet at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Ms. Harris pledged to unite her party and defeat Donald Trump. She kicked off her campaign in Delaware yesterday, a day after President Biden dropped out of the race. From Washington,
CIA
North America editor Sarah Smith.
To whom you referred.
Kamala Harris visited what just 2 days ago had been the headquarters of the Biden-Harris campaign, but is now solely dedicated to getting her elected as the next president. She praised Joe Biden's achievements in office, and he called in from his home in Delaware, talking publicly about his decision to pull out for the first time.
I know yesterday's news was surprising, and
you're going to be the next president of the United States.
But it was the right thing to do.
Ms. Harris pledged to unite the Democratic Party and laid out why she believes she's the best person to take on Donald Trump.
We've been to the border.
On her past
We've
as a
been
prosecutor.
to the border.
You haven't been.
In those roles, I took on perpetrators. And I haven't been to Europe.
I love them.
Predators
who abused women.
in every state in this country.
Fraudsters
to make
who ripped
decisions
off
about her
consumers.
own body is on the line.
So hear me when I say,
are going to continue to stand.
I
with
know Donald
Israel's
Trump's
right to
type.
defend itself.
too many innocent Palestinians have been killed.
Donald Trump has
Biden
already
is our
been convicted
nominee.
of criminal fraud
We
in New
beat
York.
Trump once,
He
and
seems
we're gonna
deeply
beat him again.
frustrated that he's
Period.
no longer running
Joe
against
Biden's
Joe
legacy
Biden.
of
On
accomplishment
social
over
media,
the past
he said he
3
wanted to
years
be reimbursed
is
for all the money he'd
unmatched
already spent
in
on
modern
fighting
history.
the president, and complained,
In one term,
now we have to start
he
all
has
over again.
already, yes,
Kamala
you may
Harris has
clap.
received a record amount of campaign donations in the last 24 hours, over $81 million, and says she's now secured the endorsement of enough delegates to the Democratic National Convention to win the nomination.
Good morning, 7 o'clock. Welcome to Breakfast with Sally Nugent and John Kay.
Our headlines for you today. Kamala Harris launches her bid to be US president and insists she will beat Donald Trump.
We have doors to knock on. We have people to talk to. We have phone calls to make. And we have an election to win.
Morning, everybody. Tuesday, the 23rd of July, and Kamala Harris has launched her campaign to become US president, promising to lead the Democrats to victory against Donald Trump this November.
She launched her bid last night, just a day after Joe Biden dropped out of the race, and has already attracted the support of enough Democrats to become the party's nominee for president. Here's our North America correspondent, David Willis.
24 hours into her new role, and Kamala Harris was already on the verge of becoming the first black and Asian woman to win the presidential nomination of a major party. Her first event as presidential candidate, a visit to campaign headquarters, and from the former California prosecutor, a taste of how she intends to set about attacking Donald Trump.
Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. We have doors to knock on. We have people to talk to. We have phone calls to make. And we have an election to win.
She was joined remotely by the man whose departure from the race thrust her into the spotlight.
Joe, I know you're still on the call. And we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us.
So do we.
And we do, everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. Oh.
Within hours, it was reported that Kamala Harris had secured the support of sufficient party delegates to ensure her nomination ahead of the Democratic Convention, the 5th of November. A second-generation immigrant, Kamala Harris is the daughter of a Jamaican father and an Indian mother who moved to America in search of a better life. Prominent party figures such as Bill Clinton and the former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi are among those supporting her bid for the party's presidential nomination. Kamala Harris is not yet her party's candidate, but events are moving at breakneck speed. The prospect of her nomination has energised the Democrats' campaign, and they're hoping it will bring more of their supporters to the polls. David Willis, BBC News, Washington.
Well, a short time ago, David told us that Kamala Harris's campaign has already raised tens of millions of dollars just in the first 24 hours.
Events moving really rapidly, and it's emerged that at the end of her first full day of campaigning, Kamala Harris already has the Democratic delegates that she needs in order to gain her party's nomination for the presidency. She needed about 2,000 of the less than 4,000 Democratic state delegates that are available. And according to the Associated Press and their poll, she has surpassed that number already. Now, it's not certain, of course, that those delegates will vote for her, but there is every chance that they will go ahead and that this will prove accurate. Probably in a virtual roll call to be conducted in the next couple of weeks, but ahead of the Democratic National Convention, which is due to take place on the 19th of August. All of this a sign that the Democratic Party is coalescing around the candidacy of Kamala Harris, following support from Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House, who is a very powerful member of the Democratic Party, and the fact that Kamala Harris's campaign has raised a lot of money. It said about $80 million in the first 24 hours.
David Willis there, speaking to us from Washington.